Welcome to Let's Wine Stories Uncorked. Today from San José, Costa Rica, I have the distinct privilege and honor of having Senthil Gopinath, CEO of ICCA. Such a wonderful pleasure. What an honor to have you here today with us. And welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. Very appreciated.
I know that you've been on quite a journey. You've been on a journey for the past 6 months?
6 months.
6 months, traveling many different countries and cities. And that's part of your job as the global leader of ICCA, where it takes you. But I'm just really curious to, is this your first time in Costa Rica?
No, this is my third time.
Your third time in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So how is Pura Vida, the Pura Vida context?
Absolutely. For me, this is more coming from home because I come from a tropical country called Sri Lanka. So it's very close to my heart. When I come here, I see the culture, the people, the warmth and friendliness of how do they welcome. It goes a long way for me. And Costa Rica as a nation, in terms of building not only business events, the economic structure they have built over a period is very consistent. I keep telling whenever I meet the minister every time, that is one of the countries I admire because the policy and the principles of the country goes on a continuous process and they're very structured and their vision is really good. So whenever I come, I keep learning a lot from the country as well.
And I know from your background, it was you have some background on sustainable tourism.
Absolutely.
And certainly Costa Rica, it's one of your destination.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons. 20 years back, even when I came to Costa Rica, then it was a long time back. First, how to sort of structure ecotourism, we learned it from Costa Rica because sustainability is one of my key expertise. So coming here every year, it's a great learning for them to see how the strategy being put in place and how the policies are being developed by the policymakers. So yeah, it's all about a lot of learning, and it's very close to my heart.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure this is going to be another edition of FIEXPO, and I know you're a big supporter of FIEXPO and the industry that they cover and how Latin America as a destination continues to be top of mind for wedding planners.
Right.
And so your impression of these first 2 days of FIEXPO?
Yeah, and I mean, it's great. Just to give you a background of FIEXPO, for me, I always say that internationally, we as an industry, every activation matters. In every show like this, every conference, every seminar we do, we tend to bring the communities together. We also create knowledge. We also create business opportunities. More importantly, bringing the networking, the sharing of best practices and bringing people together. We underestimate always because that drives our industry. So for me, the entire FIEXPO team, Arnaldo and the team, for many years, driving this platform. It's so difficult to put something this together. It's not easy bringing so many countries together. They have been doing a fantastic job. ICCA being an integral part of the FIEXPO, being a long-standing, the only industry partner. And for us also, FIEXPO is the only show in the Americas we partner with. It's very vital, primarily because they bring all the segments together. They bring all elements of destinations together, knowledge together, and all segments within our business comes together. So in the last 2 days, yesterday, we spoke about quite a lot of important topics, even about the risk management in the world today, given the geopolitical issues, what's happening. Was a very relevant topic, and we could share with many countries, many colleagues from around the world. The good thing is in FIEXPO, it's not about only the region. They bring the knowledge from outside the region. So we have a lot of colleagues from Europe. I'm technically from Europe, so many people from Europe, Middle East, Asia coming in and speaking about what is important to this region and to learn from this region as well. So yeah, a lot more to go. Today we have a politicians forum. I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Senthil, let's talk about, I know you have a global role, a major role as the global CEO, but I know you have a hard spot in your heart for Latin America. How do you see the region evolving?
Yeah. I've been coming to Latin America. Even jokingly yesterday, I said that in the last 8 months, I was here for 9 times in many different countries. I was in Peru, Bogota, in Colombia, in San José today. For me, Latin America is a melting pot. Every year, every time when you come to this region, be it a month or after 3 months, 4 months, the amount of innovative minds, creative thinking is amazing to me. Every time when you come, the technological advancement, the economical transformation, the venue infrastructure being built, the conference centers, hotels, the expertise being built is phenomenal in a region. And the younger generation driving this industry is very unique to this part of this region because everywhere you see in every business what we do within business event, it's done by younger people, predominantly by ladies. I must say that So it's really very close to my heart. I always say it's women leadership is not a spoken thing; it should be an implemented thing. So I'm glad to see that Latin America gives that leadership to the female population, and it's a place where you innovate constantly, and you also look at the policymakers. Even if you take mayors from different cities, looking at constantly how do I create future cities, how do I look at new development in the region. So if you take every country where I visit in the region, I see that process is an ongoing process. The only challenge is Latin America, which I say it's not something hidden gem. You need to speak about it to the rest of the world. You need to talk what's your expertise, so your customers see this way, and then they start attracting more business into the region. So yeah, for me, it's every time when I come, it amazes me about the ambitious planning involved.
I always say that it only takes once for you to visit any Latin American country to fall in love with it.
Absolutely.
And you will always want to come back.
Absolutely. The color, the vibrancy, the warmth and friendly people, it's phenomenal. I mean, yesterday, they were celebrating my birthday was yesterday. I was telling him,
happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I was even telling my family, the best birthday I had was here because the warmth and friendliness of people. So one of the key USP of this region is people and the different cultures in different parts. Because even a country, you go to different cities, you see completely variety and diversity. It's not that the same culture adapted in every city. So that's unique to Latin America. So in terms of even business opportunity also, it's all about variety and diversity. And I see that the growth is phenomenal.
Senthil, and I know you will be coming back very soon towards the end of the year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you have the global conference.
Yes, yeah.
With your global event. Tell us a little bit about it and the chosen destination.
Absolutely. It's again in 2015, if I go back a little bit, we were in Buenos Aires. And 2021, we were in Cartagena in Colombia. But unfortunately, due to COVID, we couldn't achieve a larger Congress being held there. But ICCA Congress is not about another event. I always say ICCA Congress is a platform for globalizing your region, the region of Latin America or any region for that matter. It's all about more than learning, doing business, understanding what's the future of our industry. So coming back to the region into Panama in November this year from 8 to 11 is very vital. Again, bringing the entire Latin American region and from North America as well. We always do almost about 80 to 90 countries taking part, almost 1,500 delegates. Now, these are all C-level decision makers coming from about 90 countries. So you bring the entire world together, entire ecosystem there. They come, share best practices, talk to each other. And it's not only learning from them, and they also learn from what the region can do better. So coming to Latin America is very special. So for me, it's almost, if I may say, about 10 years gap now. With Cartagena, did a great job in 21, but all of us couldn't travel due to COVID. So this year in Panama, I'm indeed really looking forward to bring the entire community together. So it's going to be a very special Congress this year.
Wow, what an amazing way to close the year.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons even we call the theme as Cross Worlds was our theme, the theme for this year's Congress. Why we did sort of embrace something of Cross Worlds? We want the entire world to come here in November to talk from our industry and understand and drive the future of our industry given the geopolitical issues. I always say that you stay positive, we move forward. We are a very resilient industry. So this year's Congress, we have also created a very different model. It's a multi-model Congress. First time the history association is doing it. We want very different organizations like UN Tourism, AC Forum, IEEE, all are coming and creating content so that we bring congresses within Congress. That's a model. So you come and attend one Congress, but you learn about economy, you learn about infrastructure, you learn about future of tourism, all under one Congress within a 4 days period.
You're expecting about how many attendees?
I mean, usually, it's about 1,500 plus is what our numbers every year. Our last year Congress in Porto in Portugal was 1,560 to be precise. So I'm sure Latin America will beat those numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure there is, because there's so much of, ICCA has grown phenomenally in Latin America. Every country, every city from first tier, second tier, third tier city has been extensively engaging with ICCA. So all of them will be part of the Congress. So I'm sure the numbers will be really good.
Right. One of the things that it's really disrupting our industry is changing rapidly.
Yeah.
And it's been disrupted by AI.
Yeah.
How do you see the adoption of AI in our industry, and especially the role that events and meetings professionals take as part of this transformation?
Good question. I think AI is a great enabler for our industry. It's not a competitor. I always say using AI as a platform, we can achieve very efficiently better things that we never did decades ago, 2 decades back. I mean, today using AI, we see our content coming out or the findings of this session coming out then and there immediately after the session. Now, in the past, we never had that opportunity. We've been always waiting for another week to send it to a participant or 2 weeks by email. So AI is a great enabler. What we are missing, we are learning about AI, but we're not learning about structured AI. Why? The organizations don't have AI, investment for AI in their balance sheet. So if you have to train your staff, if you have to train your team, if you have to bring the knowledge, you need to make investment in your company or in your convention bureau, in your organization. But that's vital. It's similar to sustainability. We speak about it, but there is no capital investment by your company or by your organization to enhance knowledge, to implement the process. So AI is at that stage in our industry. So we need to invest more to get there. Attending Congress, different events and learning about it is good. But when you get back home, you need to implement. So my humble request to organization is please have it on your balance sheet so that your team can learn and your strategy can be put in place as well.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest areas for any professional in this industry is really showcasing ROI, right? Because when they have to stand in front of the board of directors with my ROI,
Correct.
And I think, like you mentioned, AI is a great enabler, but the investment needs to be.
Exactly. And they will see the return definitely. The ROI will be safe. The only thing is you need to be convinced. We are events industry always teach others. We organize events. So we have all these fantastic topics, but when you go to adapt our organization, we are a bit reluctant there. So that's where the investment, and I'm sure the return will be within 12 months you will find it, because your resources can be trained and they can do your events, your activities much more efficiently. And that will bring down the cost. So you automatically will see the ROI.
Absolutely. Now, let's, the name of our podcast is Stories Uncorked, right?
Okay.
And we love to hear about business leaders like yourself, about the stories. I had the opportunity to be in Usha a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And I was so impressed by the talent that there is in Asia. I was in Singapore specifically. And I would love for you to share with our audience a little bit about your background, your trajectory, how you turned into this global role, leading such an important organization for our industry.
Thank you for that. That's a real good opportunity to talk about myself. I think I was working for the government. I was a tourism secretary in my country. I built more or less working on the chairing the tourism board and the chief executive of the tourism board. But at some point, it told me that I need to globalize myself, because Sri Lanka, where I come from, it's a small country, but it's pretty much onto leisure tourism and my segment to a certain extent. When I joined the CONI as a DMC, when they changed the name now, I was in charge of South Asia as the vice president. I got the private sector engagement there, studied how the destination management organization will function. Then I joined the airline, which is another important integral part. I was the assistant vice president for Emirates for global product launches, and also I set up the meetings division within the airline, because I told my bosses at that time, there's a great opportunity for a city like Dubai to attract meetings, but we need a virtual conference organization. We set it up. It became a very successful company. After that, I thought in the cycle of your business, something missing is a global association. So I became joined as a regional director for Middle East and Africa for ICCA, and then after that, this opportunity came in. So basically, whatever the stakeholding necessary for our industry, I was lucky enough to cover all that, from airline to PCO to a DMC to a tourism board to a venue, when I was managing a venue as well. So yeah, I was lucky enough to learn all segments. So today, when I speak to our members, to global audience, larger, I work with UN Tourism, World Economic Forum, European Union, at different audience, I could take the entire segment's requirement to the policymakers table and talk to them and say, this is what each segment needs. So it's not about one segment. We all are interconnected to each other. So you need to give the support. So that's exactly I'm doing it on Friday with the UN office, building a case why business events should be recognized at the United Nations.
No, absolutely. Well, good luck with that. That'll be
It's a long road.
And I think it's so important, especially for the younger generation.
Correct, yeah.
The message that you just shared with us about not being afraid to learn, not being afraid to move, to change country, to take risks,
Absolutely.
and to be sort of an entrepreneur, right? Because you keep investing in yourself, learning your sectors, and really putting yourself out there. Right?
Absolutely. My advice always to the younger people, two things. One is we are in a beautiful industry. Anywhere if you're related to tourism, business events, but you need to explore yourself, no? Because if you want to do the same job for 10 years, you can still do it. But we are so interconnected to many different segments within our business. So if you explore yourself, you can really find opportunities there. You keep changing because once you do 2 or 3 of those segments, you become an expertise in overall area because you're covered about 60 to 70%. But the challenge with our industry there for the younger generation is, again, going back to the AI story, is budget, the allocation of budgets in training and development. I keep we always tell in every congress or every activity that we need to give opportunity to younger generation, but you need to make the investment also. It's not about sending you to a trade show or sending you to a conference, but that's not good enough. We to allow them to do continuous process learning. Like the doctors learn the continuous medical education. We need to offer that to our industry. That's this example I always give. For that, you need to make every organization to make investment and please give them the opportunity. Right? It's not about just going to one trade show, seeing what's happening. Because we are an industry evolved so constantly. Continuously, it's a changing process. So you need to continually give them that opportunity so that they can learn. Then you will see the ROI coming out of their expertise.
What would you say is the most important soft skill that professionals in this industry need to develop, especially in this time and age?
Yeah, I think we are a very adaptable industry. I've seen that in spite of all what's happening from COVID time and now till, we adapted fantastically well. Our figures are showing we have beaten more than 2019 figures. We've gone beyond that. So adaptability is already within the industry when you're working in the industry. The soft skill what you need to build in this industry is constantly learning what's happening in other parts of the world so that you can implement that in your business. Because when you're somebody working in San José, you're a company, you start looking very narrowly into that part. You don't learn what's happening because if it's hard learning what's happening, for example, what's Asia being doing or Middle East being doing, if you learn and implement that, you will bring your costs down by 50%. You will sort of implement efficient events. You will have better business models living in many parts of the world. And that's not only to Latin America, it's common to many parts of the world. So for me, the soft skill is look what's happening in other parts of the world and learn. Don't recreate it. Well, I mean, even technology, you want to put an LED screen, it's already done in China like 10 years ago. So you don't need to recreate. You can learn from it. That's what ICCA is all about. Huge platform, about 1,200 members around the world. You can pick up the phone and talk to somebody and say, you did this in China, how we do this event? They will share everything. So you can replicate that in your own country. You don't need to. So that's the strongest soft skill in our industry. And it's such a beautiful product, so easily available. I mean, today we have in FIEXPO, we are here. There are so many leading minds who all learned experience. We talk to them, they love to share with you. They're all competitors. They compete in their business, but they're competing in another region. So somebody asking me, they love to teach you. So I think we are one of the very fortunate industry where we don't need to pay to learn. Soft skill is very much available. They are free of charge.
That's wonderful. How many members does ICCA have?
We are now about almost 20. We're getting close to 1,200 members, 1,200. But we have corporate members. We don't have individual members, all companies. For example, Costa Rica Convention Bureau, the Convention Center of Costa Rica is a member. So we have a restricted sector, about 6 sectors are members. Within that, all companies. So, and we also have university members. We built a community to build talent around the world. The 26 universities from around the world are members of ICCA. We also have association members. That's about 1,200. So that doesn't belong to the 1,002 because we call them as a community. We don't call them as a member. When it's a member, it's private sector. And governments as well. Tourism boards and all of them.
Clearly, ICCA is one of the most influential communities that our industry has right now. And it's helping not only to shape the story as to why the meetings and event industry is so relevant to the local economy, to the global economy as a whole. How do you do it all? How do you keep all of the members together?
Absolutely. And again, I say that it's going to them and asking them to come to you. So if I give you an example, last 10 days, what I did, I was in India. We were looking at setting up 8 convention bureaus in India because that's new to India. When I was in Middle East, I was in Dubai talking about a strategy. When I came to Europe, now I'm in Latin America. So yes, it is. I have a wonderful team who works around the world. We are members in 106 countries, so it's truly global association. It's all about being on ground with them, being part of the strategy, being with local mayors, tourism ministers, prime ministers, presidents, talking to them. ICCA is always part of the strategy. ICCA is not about another association building membership. I always say, if you're part of the strategy, membership will automatically come in because they want ICCA support there. So every country I or my colleagues visit, we meet with the governments to build their strategy, give them the know-how, expertise. And then but that's still working well because this is a strategy we implemented in the last 5 years. Going to the cities and countries and the local the cities in different parts of the world, it creates a lot of value for them because the local funding sources, the municipality or mayor, understand who's this residents or. So you're not going to tell from your head office who you are. You need to be on the ground, educate, and also really bring the knowledge to the local community. Then the local stakeholders also convince, okay, I need to be part of this, they automatically join it. Yeah, it's a longer process. When you're more globalized, it's more challenging. But I always say that we are here to lead with geopolitical issues. That's not going to go away. But then if you go to their doorstep, you can support, you can give what they.
Yeah. The first part of 2026 has been challenging from a geopolitical aspect, right? And it varies from region to region.
Correct.
A set of challenges. How do you see the second half of the year and 2027?
Yeah. I think, again, like I said earlier, the geopolitical issues, or it could be an issue of climate change, issue of sustainability issues, it's going to continue in this world. That's the nature of the world we are living in. But what I'm seeing is in our industry, the good part is that, particularly the association meeting segment where ICCA looks after, we're seeing phenomenal growth in those meetings because more new topics are coming in. In the last 18 months, when we did our annual report for the association ranking report, we saw 864 meetings only dedicated to AI has been launched. So 864. Now, that's a huge market segment of business growth for the convention bureaus and convention center because everybody wants to have a meeting to talk about. And these are meetings anything about 1,000 people to 2,000 people. That's a huge. So we as an industry, in spite of what's happening around the world, we will have more topics coming in because we are conveners of meetings. So we will, when yesterday my message during the opening ceremony was very clear, we will have to face the risk, we will have to face cost of operation. But if we create experiential events continuously, we have been part of those topics, we will have those continue. Geopolitical issues are here to stay. We are not going to change that. But then that cost of operation will be mitigated by more events coming. So with the volume, I'm sure it's going to balance out, going forward, number of meetings.
And we're just saying something that is so powerful. It's never to operate within the uncertainty
Absolutely.
of the world, but not being afraid to take certain risks, to take certain challenges.
Absolutely. Because that's our industry, because our customer is looking for it. So if we don't take that risk, the customer does not take the risk. So your the growth of the industry will start diminishing. So my advice around the world is that think positive, keep moving forward, keep investing. Yes, you will have to, as a company in your balance sheet, will lose about 20% profit for this year, but you will gain much better. If you don't do it this year, much more investment, next year, the 20% will become 40% here. So we need to constantly move forward. And I see that, it's clearly meeting our association meetings. We do research about 12,000 meetings every year. Last year's report, 2022, we had all the global geopolitical issues. Another 1,300 meetings have come up in new meetings. So we are on to 13,300. So it really shows the growth and that's across the world. It's not only one particular region. If we say Europe has the biggest growth, no, it's not true. It's North America, it's South. So every region continues to be growing because the scientific part of more topics, technology topic, manufacturing topics, all are becoming more because you're doing new business around the world is growing. With that, we create a meeting and it becomes our business as well.
You see one industry growing more than another?
For the five industries, when we did the research, life science, medical and healthcare, technology is the third one, phenomenally growing. It's not only on AI, generic technology part. The fourth part we see very interestingly, agriculture. Because that's vitally, it's clearly showcased because of the geopolitical issue. A lot of technology is going to agriculture with how do I sort of supply to the rest of the world? How do I do a quick harvest? So there are many new meetings that come out related to agriculture. The other part is the last part. Fifth one is the education part. Although the technology has taken over education predominantly because everything is online, there is a huge population want to learn, come for conferences, meet with each other to learn how do we implement this model. Because leaving our industry, I mean, we as human beings, if we take an example, we have every topic spoken by us during a day's life because we are so attached to social media and to our phones. But none of us knows the in-depthness of the topic. We all are very shallowly understand using Instagram or using the X platform or whatever you call it. So conferences are the drivers to go into in-depthness with experts. So people who are really selling or driving business models wanted more and more conference. So that way the numbers are really growing. So these 5 sectors we see growth. There are many other sectors, but these 5 are really a future for next 6 months to 12 months.
So, wow, that's amazing. We know how busy you are, so we're so grateful for the gift of your time. What closing message would you like to leave for our audience?
Yeah, I think I would like to tell the audience that nations thrive through meeting and interacting. That's the only way the economic development can take place. I urge everybody to come across, share knowledge, share best practices, and do more meetings because that's the only way we bring a better world. Thank you very much.
Just to close, I'm going to put you on a very hard spot here. What's your favorite destination in Latin America?
That's a good question. Yeah. I think from across the region traveling, again, like to my earlier answer, I'm going to give you a diplomatic answer there. It's more of the variety and diversity I see. So when I go to Colombia, I see something different. In Peru, I see different. Come across to Costa Rica, I do very different. Again, for me, the uniqueness of the region really amazes me. It's more than which is better than the other. Every country you go, you think it's a Latin America, one title you give. But every country when I go, the warmth, the friendliness, and the thought process and the innovative thinking is so different to each other. Probably people in the region may not see it because for them it's one pot called Latin America. For me as a foreigner coming from outside this region, I see that all of them are equally ambitious, equally want to showcase what the products are. Even I was at one of the UN tourism meetings when we present almost 20, I think it was 18 countries of Latin America. I was so amazed to see the infrastructure, the culture, the nature they could offer. Because even a tropical country like this, you will see there are many countries who are really working on sustainability. I think it's all equal. No, the structure, the design, the way they are elevating the destinations are phenomenal. So for me, I would say it's the entire region.
And in November, Panama will be your favorite city.
Yes, Panama is quite different. For me also, even that's one of the research, not only for me, the entire community. When we did a research, we found 82% of our ICCA membership had never been to Panama.
Wow.
So for Panama, because Central America is quite new. Okay, Brazil, Argentina, people have been maybe to Colombia, but Panama is very unique. So that way, I'm sure we'll have many people. And for me also, I've not discovered the country. I always go for meetings and come back. So probably during the Congress, I'm looking forward to staying a couple of days extra to go and see the country. I've seen the Panama Canal, one of my dream places to see that I've seen a couple of times. But more go interior to sort of discover the country. Probably know it.
Well, cheers to Panama.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. Thank you to our audience and stay tuned because much more is coming from the ICCA Global Conference in November. Yes, thank you so much. Let's wind stories Uncorked.